today's workout, we will be doing some hip, mostly hip abduction. So just moving hip out to the side, getting some work in the TFL and probably the glute med mostly, which is kind of an important pelvis stabilizer. So we'll get some of that. We'll get some of that work going. The recommended equipment is going to be a set of blocks and a band with an anchor point. We'll be doing some hip lifts from the side. So we'll be, getting a setup like this. So if you have your yoga blocks handy, or maybe a bench or something that you can just elevate your leg on, but not so much that you have to rotate your pelvis or torso, to get your leg up there. We want kind of that flat back position, just so we have a nice kind of set point for where our torso is, and we know how much abduction we're actually getting with our leg. And then I have my anchor point right up here when band. And I think that's it. Also, you can always feel free to use ankle weights. I don't think that you'll need them for this one, but you could definitely let me know. And then for everybody joining live, also as always, you can type out in the chat if you have any questions or need any modifications, anything like that. I'll always be monitoring that and get any of those modifications or questions addressed when I get a chance. So we'll go ahead and jump into our workout. We're going to get started with some Sidelying hip cars, capsule cars. So it'll be a little bit abbreviated, a warm-up. I want to spend as much time as we can in our sets. For those watching on the video, just know that you could spend a little bit longer warming up. Just pause so you know what you need to do to get warmed up and ready to go. So we'll start off in the Sidelying position. Let me grab my watch. We'll be doing 60 seconds of hip cars, maximizing our hip, minimizing involvement from anything else, minimizing spine, minimizing pelvis. Quick refresher for the hip cars. We're taking the hip through its full rotational range of motion. So in the front, we move into hip flexion and we get that clearance on the bottom leg. And we get some external rotation. Then holding that external rotation for as long as you can for through the whole front half. That flexion, knee towards the chest, abduction out away from the body. Still trying to maintain external rotation as I abduct. Once I kind of get to that end of the range of motion there, I'll start internally rotating. So I'm not going to let the knee drop a ton to get that internal rotation. I'm going to try to hold that knee high, hold my abduction as I internally rotate. Once I've maxed out that internal rotation, I'm going to kind of hold and keep squeezing that as I push back into extension just at the hip, not arching the back. Push back into hip extension, and then around and knees being knee back up. And I'll just reverse it. So I'm going to repeat the back, squeezing, kick, extension, abduction. And once I've maxed out that abduction, again, I'm going to externally rotate, go external rotation, get as much as I can. I'm up, around, and down. And I'm always trying to maximize my range, right? Get to the edge of my range of motion, using the tissues that I'm trying to train, not by, compensating, moving the torso, hiking the pelvis, nothing like that. I'm just using what I'm trying to train, getting to the edge of my range of motion, kind of capturing in my mind as much range, as much space as I can, maximizing hip, minimizing anything else. We go 60 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. And just go ahead and move at your own pace. Keep it nice and smooth, maximizing that hip range of motion, minimizing anything else. Trying to have a smooth, continuous movement. No starting and stopping. Just smooth control. We want to build that motor control, build that smooth pattern. We don't want to train to start and stop. We want to train low. The train. Train that smooth hip. We've got 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Just finish this one that you're on. And good. And we'll stay on this side and we'll move straight into our capsule cars in 3 different positions: hip flexion, hip abduction, and extension. So capsule cars is just rotating the hip in the socket. So we're just rotating that femur. Boom. External rotation, internal rotation. And let's go 1, external rotation, internal rotation. We'll say that's 1, external, internal, that's 2. Keeping this upper leg as still as possible. It's just rotating on that axis. I'm not bringing it up. I'm not dropping it down. Just rotating, capturing as much internal rotation as I can. External rotation, that's 3. I'm going to move out to abduction. External rotation, right? External, the femur rotating elbow away from the body, foot's coming in. Internal rotation. External, internal, 1 more. External, internal, that's 3. I'm going to push back into a little extension. Internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation 2. 1 more, internal rotation, external rotation 3. Remember, I'm not moving the pelvis. I'm hiking the hip and just try to rotate right on that axis. Switch sides. Same thing on the other leg. Hip cars, 60 seconds. Ready and begin. Maximizing hip, minimizing spine involvement. Maximizing hip, minimizing pelvis rotation. Just hit in that socket, tracing along the edge of my range of motions. Right along that edge, maybe even fighting for a millimeter more, not fighting for more by compensating, but fighting for more. Even though I know I'm not going to get more, I'm squeezing as if I can, making my rotators work a little bit harder. The flexors work a little harder. The abductors working a little bit harder. Right? I'm always squeezing a little bit harder for a little bit more. 3, 2, 1, and time. We'll go into our capsule cars. Internal, squeeze, find that end, fight through more. External, internal, squeeze, external, 2, internal, squeeze, external, out to abduction, internal, external, big squeeze, find that end, fight for more. Internal, external, big squeeze, internal, and external. Move into extension. Doesn't have to be right full extension back and everything, just a little bit of extension. Internal, external, internal, external, internal, and external. That's 3. All right, so we're going to move into our first series of hip abduction, and that's going to be with the long lever. So we have a short lever with the bent leg, long lever with the straight leg. And we'll be in the quadruped position. We'll just extend one leg out. And we'll find our best position to feel stretch in the groin, stretch on this underside. So a couple variables you can play with. You can play with how far forward you are or how far back you are. You can play with hip width here, so you can be kind of more narrow, or you could be more wide. You can also play with your torso, right? I could be straight on. I can come a little bit out to this side. I can triangulate my arms a little bit more. So play with those variables, scan, and find your best stretch through with this long liver. You're a little more likely to feel it lower on the leg and closer to the medial knee. When we get to short lever, you'll probably feel it more in the mid and higher up towards the groin. One other thing you can play with is foot position. You can have your foot kind of right flat on the side of your foot, or you can have foot down. The only thing we don't want is foot rotating up. With foot rotating up, if you try that, you'll feel it more in the hamstrings, and then our rails contraction is going to be more on the quad. So we want to stay in the groin and on the side root. All right, so find your best position. Hopefully you found it by now. Good stretched in that inside leg, inside groin area. And for our series of PAILs and rails, we're just going to first for PAILs, pushing down, using that stretching tissue. Rails is going to be squeezing up, trying to lift up, squeezing this sided glute tissue. So again, not rotating our torso. We're only working those target tissues there. All of your work, when I'm saying lift more, lift harder, it's only using those. So it's not about the position actually lifting. It's about contracting and squeezing the target tissues that we're trying to work. So find our position, find that stretching tissue, and start pushing force into it. Kind of light at first. Feel that light push through that stretching tissue. Kind of ramp it up to a medium strength push. And give me a strong push that you can barely last for 30 seconds, pushing down. Sometimes I drive my leg down into the ground. I'm not using anything else but this stretching tissue, pushing down. If you feel it too much in the side knee here, ease off a little bit, back out of the stretch just a little bit. Modify it so that you're keeping it in kind of this side leg, not all the way down at the knee. Keep pushing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay in the exact same position and now try to lift the leg. The leg won't lift, but just squeeze side glute as if I were trying to lift. If my foot were on a scale, I'm trying to get as light on that scale as possible. Squeeze, lift, squeeze side glute, try to lift. And you can't lift it since we're in our end range, but squeeze as if. Imagine you can lift it. Try to lift and squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. We're going to move right into lift-offs from this position. I'm going to use a yoga block to kind of create a little bit of space. See right here, my hip is really locked in. My torso's low. I can't lift. If I use a yoga block, either this way or even this way or even up this way, it gives me my hip a little more space. So I'm still not rotating my torso to lift, keeping that nice and tight. Torso doesn't move, right? And I'm just lifting the leg. And again, I'm playing with position back here, position up here. So find your position. We have 45 seconds of liftoffs, consistent pace. Doesn't matter if you do 5 in the 45 seconds or 20 in that time. So you can be going really slow and squeeze, or you can be going kind of at a faster tap pace. As long as everything stays still, controlled, the work is where we want it to go. Choose your own pace. 45 seconds of work using only side glute. Ready and begin. Good. Don't rest too long at the bottom. Try to keep continuous tension as you're working. You got 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds. Keep working. Torso stay still. Everything nice and tight. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. We'll switch to our other leg. Back to PAILs and rails on our other leg. Get yourself set up. Find your position. Find that stretch on hand or groin. Shouldn't be able to lift the leg. You should also be able to feel that stretch and work the tissue on that underside. Here we go. Feel that stretch in tissue. Use that to start pulling your leg down into the ground, right? I'm pulling it down. So as if I'm pulling down. Ready? Ramp. Keep it just in that tissue medium. And strong effort where you could just barely last that 30 seconds. Push down. Keeping it just in that groin. Keep ramping it as needed. Feel it just in that stretching tissue. Squeeze. You're ready at that halfway point. Keep squeezing. Try to reach a high level of fatigue in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and squeeze. Try to lift. Don't change your position. Try to stay in that exact same position, but now opposite side of the joint when lifting. Squeeze. Squeezing as if I'm trying to lift up, keeping my foot flat on the ground. Toes are pointed forward, not up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Get yourself set for your liftoffs. Get your block. Create a little more space. Do what you got to do. Make sure you can lift that leg. 45 seconds, continuous tension liftoffs. Ready and begin. Big tension through the rest of your body. Keep that tummy tight. Hands digging into the ground, squeezing it. Everything nice and tight. High irradiation here. And we've got 10 seconds. Keep it working. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. We are going to move to our short lever hip abduction. So I'm going to set up on blocks here, like so. So 2 levels of blocks. You can have a bench, like I said, anything that you could set your leg on. I could even use my medicine ball to put my leg on here. But and if you don't have anything similar to this and you just want to use a chair or bench and your torso is rotated, it's less than ideal, but that will also work because all we're trying to do is target that muscle. This setup just kind of gives me a more neutral torso and spine, so I kind of have a little better idea of my control versus, hey, I know how much my torso is actually rotated right here. It's kind of the arbitrary angle. At least here I'm flat and I have a great marker, but main idea is just to target that inside hip tissue, right? So you need to put it on a bench or do something like that. But same thing here. I'm finding that stretch. And again, I can play with the width, right? Leg width. I can play with sitting back. I can play with scooting forward. Whatever helps you find this underside groin tissue the best. Take a few minutes or moments to triangulate, right? To help you get better upper body tension. That might help you push through that leg better. Find your spot. You could even, yeah, as you sit back, right, your hip is moving more into flexion. So knees kind of go up higher to the chest. Whatever kind of is your best position. And we'll start the work. So feel that stretch in tissues. Same thing. PAILs pushing down 30 seconds. Rails lifting up for 30 seconds. Find that stretch in tissue. Start driving force, pushing knee down into those blocks. Medium. And strong effort, 30 seconds. So we shouldn't get to that 30 and feel like you can go for another minute, right? We should barely be making it to that 30. High fatigue, high tension, pushing down, feeling that groin working. 15 seconds. Keep squeezing, keep smashing down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and outside hip lift. Don't change positions. Just try to squeeze that outside hip. If you don't feel it at all, you can change positions a little just so you can start to feel that hip. Maybe drop down to the elbow. See if that helps you lift it. Twist the torso just a little bit. But if you can feel it without changing positions, that's ideal. Squeeze and try to lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. If you have blocks, you can just remove one set of blocks, move into your lift-offs there. If you are on a fixed object, if you're wide with the hips and low, just come a little bit higher, right? If you have kind of a low set of blocks and you were here in for your PAILs and rails, come up here. Now you can open up. You can rotate just like we did with another block here. Find your way so that you can create your lift offs. Like so. Stay nice and tight. Only side glute is moving. Side hip ready and tight and lift. 45 seconds of continuous tension lift offs. Tighten everything else, only using that hip. 15 seconds to go. Your actual range doesn't matter. The range that you can get by contracting side hip is what we're looking for. 3, 2, 1, and time. You switch sides. Right. Find your setup. Take a few moments to find your setup here. We're towards end range of your stretch, right? So in range hip, abduction. Find that inner groin stretch. Start sending force by smashing down like I'm trying to bring my knees together. Medial. Sometimes we like to ramp because sometimes if you try to squeeze too hard, too fast, you might compensate and use something else. So when we start off low, we find our target tissue and then slowly ramp up, keeping it just where we want to keep it. Keep that for right where we want to keep it. Medium and strong effort. 30 seconds to fatigue. Squeeze. Push down through that stretching tissue, pulling down. Trying to pull the knees together just in that stretching groin. Keep squeezing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, Freeze in the same position. Now try to squeeze, lift up. Outer hip squeezing. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze. Nothing will lift, but you're squeezing as if you can. 15 seconds. Keep squeezing. Try to lift. 10, 9. Get to that fatigue. Squeeze it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Ease off of that. So we'll take our blocks down. Adjust your position for liftoffs. All right, 45 seconds on the clock for liftoffs. Ready and yeah. Everything else nice and tight. Nothing's moving. The rest of your body is a statue. Just getting side hip. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. Cool. We're moving right through, burning up those side hips. Now it's time to really give them a challenge. So I'm gonna move to band resisted um, um, hip lifts. So what that's gonna look like is my band is set up on the long side just so I can stay just that's just where my anchor point is. But my band will be on this side of me. I just want to face the camera so you can see what my leg actually is. But my band will be on this side, right? I'm pulling, pulling. I'm going to be pulling out against the band. So imagine it's anchored into this hand gear and I'm pulling out against it, right? We're going to have a 90-second continuous tension set. And that's going to be different than the one that we just did for 45 in that one, we had band tension, which is going to change the game. But two, over the 90 seconds, we're not just working one zone of hip abduction. So we know that this is hip abduction, right? This is still hip abduction. Even this is hip abduction. So you're going to work that whole zone. You want to get all of the different fibers tired out. So as you fatigue in that straight side lift, give it a little more hip flexion. As you fatigue in flexion, give it a little extension, lifting straight out to the side, and you'll just kind of flip that band around the back of the leg as you lift out to the side. Also, feel free to elevate your plant leg just so that you're not scraping on the ground if you want more range coming back in. So I could elevate here, and now I'm lifting out to the side like that, and my knee's not scraping on the ground. So I'll hook my band in, and I like to hook it in underneath the knee, not over, because it just rises too high if I keep it on top. So I just like it low on the leg. If I'm on, I can get up on my butt leg here, but like I said, I want it to face the camera so you can see what my leg is doing, but move it out to the side, right? Then I can move it to more hip flexion. Then I can also switch positions, and now I'm doing more with hip more towards extension. So then play with that over the 90 seconds. Just keep continuous tension, not rotating torso, maximizing hip work, minimizing everything else. You don't have to be up on a block, you can just be doing this. So whatever position your torso is in, it's want to start here, start there, but lock it there. Don't change it as we go through. We want that same torso position, just changing the hip position. So here we go. 90 seconds on the clock. Looks like we're all set. Ready and begin. Small pumps. And as you fatigue, you may either need to come closer to your anchor point, right? So we're not pulling as against as much weight, or if you can't lift your leg as high, since our leg is stronger kind of towards the middle here, you might need to go way out and just challenge that really small range. This might feel like nothing if you're too close over there. So you're only getting a small range. Maybe pull it way out and tight and just really challenge that small range. Just gonna have to figure out and explore and feel kind of what positions feel right for you, what's giving you that work that you want. We got 40 seconds left to work. Keep it going. Explore all the kind of different regions, flexion, maybe extension. What's giving you that work? Stand tight through the body. 15 seconds. Keep it going. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Will switch legs. Again, if you have an ankle weight that you want to use instead of a band, you can do that. Or if you have a band but no anchor, right? I can easily do this if you have some. I'm anchored here, self anchor, right? And then it's not ideal, but I can work with what I've got going this way. So I can modify and work that way. So a couple options for you. All right, here we go. 90 seconds on the clock. Find your position. Total body tension. Tight and begin. Remember, just challenge side hip. So we're not working and then, rotating torso just to get the lift. Just keep that work in the side hip. Isolate the side hip. Good. We're halfway there. Everything else nice and tight. Keep working. We're at 25 seconds. Just your position that's needed. More tension, less tension. You can play with a little hip rotation, right? More external, more internal as well. So 90 seconds is a lot of time to just kind of explore different ways to hit the tissue you want to hit in different ways. And that's going to be time. All right, we're headed into the home stretch. We've got long lever, continuous tension now. Just going to adjust. Yep, you won't be able to see me, but now, or my head. Now, same thing. Remember, we did long lever from quadruped on the ground lifting. Long lever here, right, out to the side. Different zones of hip flexion, hip extension, and abduction. Straight leg pulling out. If you want to hang on to a table, Yep, I got my my little post here just to kind of help post it up. A long lever, 90 seconds. Play with your position. You can go around the ankle. You can go around ankle and foot, whatever works for you. Ready? Tension. And begin. Sit butt down. And we're getting to work. Side hip. Right? I'm not hip hiking or twisting to lift, just side hip. Keep it right in that side hip. Also, you may already notice, but on the single leg side, your stance side, your balance side, that side glute is also working to stabilize your balance, stabilize your pelvis, stabilizing the knee. That is also flexion. You want to tight your spur side here. Did a bit switch your extension a little bit. Good. If you switch the extension, you can also play with that internal. It's I lost my bend, but you can play with internal rotation, or really rotating that hip in as you lift out. Maybe a little external as you lift out. Just moving, trying to demo a bunch of different positions. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. It will switch to the other side. If it's all set up, and on the other side. Ready? 90 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. Everything nice and tight. Mm, 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 mm. 30 seconds, Dad. Keep it moving. Squeeze. Good. We're halfway there. And then over to kind of my glute extension there. 20 seconds. Lock it in. 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. That was a glute burner. All right, and we'll finish it off with our hip cars again. So we'll retest kind of that hip abduction in our sideline pit farm. So one big hip car, high tension, get as much squeeze as you can, especially in the abduction that we just worked, all of the zones of abduction that we worked. So really work that opening up of the leg. So we're here on our side. Flexion and external rotation. Squeeze, high tension. Even get tension through your upper body. So you squeeze your hands together. You plant on the ground. You can be holding onto something high tension, tight. Squeeze that abduction you worked. Abduction with hip flexion or flexion. Abduction squeeze. Internal rotation, holding that abduction. As you move to extension, hold that abduction high, around and down. Then we push back, squeeze extension. Some of you might were pushing back and then lifting that band. So push back and lift. Hold that lift as you externally rotate. Move into hip flexion, external rotation, tight, 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 and down. We'll switch sides here. One high tension, pushing edge of the range of motion, strong contraction, strong squeeze as we're working here. Nice and tight upper body tension. We could grab a ball, squeeze your hands together, push into the ground. Whatever upper body tension method works for you. Tight total irradiation, external rotation, hip flexion. Good big abduction here. Squeeze all of that side hip stuff you just worked. Hold it out there as you internally rotate. Hold it high as you push back into extension. Come around and down and reverse. Push straight back, squeeze. Squeeze glute, lift, abduction, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Fight for more. Externally rotate. Keep squeezing that abduction wide. Come high, hit flexion, external rotation, around and down. Nice job. Great job. You did it.